next guest has 3 words for Republicans on the border wall. Let's dig in. But when it comes to Syria, he says, don't get out. Senator Lindsey Graham is a Republican from South Carolina, fresh off the phone with the president himself. Great to have you, Senator.
Well, thank you.
Where do we go from here?
Well, number one, when you make a promise to the American people, you should keep it. The one thing I like about President Trump, he's trying his best to keep his promise. He promised to build a wall, and he's going to fight hard to keep that promise. After the caravan, if you don't see the need for more border security, you're blind, and here's the problem. I think Democrats hate Trump so much, they want him to lose, even though it would be good for the country to work with him on border security. And if he doesn't break them now, it's going to be a terrible 2019. So, Mr. President,
is he going to break
dig in.
them now? Because if you want $5 billion, which is what he says he wants, at least to get part of this wall done, they've said you're not getting a penny of it. So we can shut down the government as long as you want, but we're not coming to the table.
So here's
with
the deal maker, Donald Trump. He said, I want 5, and you could spend 5. But what he's not going to take is 1.6, because that was already offered. So they offered 1.6 about a year ago. But in the last year, the caravan and other things have made border security more imperative. Terrorism is again beginning to move around. So what I would do if I were the president, I would tell the Democrats, I want to make this a win-win, but I need more money for the wall. I need more than 1.6. I'll take less than 5, but you've got to work with me here. And if they're not willing to work with the president, I think they're going to hear it from the American people in 2020.
All right, well, here is what the president's hearing from Senator Corker, a Republican who is not going to be back in the Senate again. He retired. Here's what he's saying about the influence and the pressure on the president. He says this is a tyranny of talk radio hosts, right? And so how do you deal with that? You have 2 talk radio hosts who completely flip the president. And so do we succumb to tyranny of talk radio hosts? So what's causing the president to take this position?
You know, I like Bob Corker. I don't think I'm thought of up here as some radical guy. But if you don't see the need for more border security, then you're just not paying attention. The President of the United States is right to want more money to secure our border, to build a wall as part of border security. Democrats are wrong to act like children, to say you can't get a penny more. Our country is under threat from drugs and crime and maybe terrorists coming across the southern border. So the Freedom Caucus, I stand with them. I stand with the president. I'm glad he picked this fight. If we do not stand up now to make sure we get more money for the wall, we'll never get any more next year. And here's what I think will happen. The president will win this fight. He just needs to make the case that the border needs to be better secured. The money I'm asking for can be well spent. And here's what I find odd. Democrats will spend money almost on anything except a wall that we need.
All right, well, we're not sure how this ends as we barrel
I'm sure.
towards...
I'll tell you how it ends. President Trump is going to get more money for the border.
Okay, but is he getting $5 billion?
Well, he's not. That's an opening bid. I tell you what he's going to get, more than 1.6.
Okay.
If he doesn't get more than 1.6, this will have been a fruitless exercise.
Okay, so let's talk about Syria. Obviously, this is somewhere where you and the president are not lined up right now. You think it is a mistake for us to withdraw our troops from there. You've talked about that combined with drawing down in Afghanistan. Your words were could lead us to a second 9/11. I mean, those are really strong words.
Yeah, so I told him, I said, listen, look what you've accomplished. Everything Obama did, you basically undone. Obama left Iraq when the military told him, please leave a residual force. And, you know, General Obama said, I know better than you. ISIS came roaring back. They took land in Iraq and eventually Syria. 400,000 Syrians have been killed. And here's what happened when the caliphate was created. In 2015, 130 people killed in Paris. 14 killed in San Bernardino by ISIS-inspired attacks. In 2016, 32 killed in Brussels, an airport bombing. 49 Americans killed in Orlando by an ISIS-inspired attack. 86 killed in Nice. 12 killed in Berlin in 2016. In 2017, 6 killed in a London attack using cars. 22 in Manchester, England. 5 in Stockholm, Sweden. 8 in an attack on the London Bridge, and 8 killed in New York City. And here's what I tell the president. You have decimated ISIS. You've taken the caliphate back. but we have not yet won. For 2,000 troops in Syria, you've killed thousands of ISIS fighters, mostly using Kurds. We've lost 4 Americans since 2015 in Syria protecting the homeland from ISIS. Navy Senior Chief Petty Officer Cooper Dayton, Air Force Sergeant Biren, Army Specialist Murphy, Army Master Sergeant Dunbar were killed in action helping the Kurds fight ISIS to protect us. These are American heroes. If we leave Syria before the time is right, ISIS will come back and Iran will fill the vacuum. Here's the good news. The president has got ISIS on the ropes. In Afghanistan, we have killed more terrorists in the last 2 years under President Trump's watch than we did 8 years in Afghanistan, because he's letting the military take the fight to the Taliban. The reason the Taliban are at the peace table for the first time is because Donald Trump has allowed the military to inflict pain on the Taliban. We've got 13,600 troops in Afghanistan. We can probably go down some, but ISIS's presence now in Afghanistan because of what we did in Syria and Iraq. So here's my message to President Trump. You're right to make people pay more. They should pay more in Syria. You're right to get more people in the fight, not just us. But never lose sight of the fact that ISIS is different than Iran and Russia. The Russians really don't want to die, and they're scared of you, Mr. President. The Iranians you've brought to heel. ISIS doesn't mind dying. You cannot deter ISIS. You have to keep them over there so they won't come here. Dying is first prize in the ISIS world. They just want to take you with them. So they're a different enemy. A virtual wall against radical Islam is our troops overseas. To withdraw from Syria before the time is right would be like tearing down a wall. There's a reason, since Donald Trump's been president, we haven't had a major attack in America, because he's kept the enemy pinned down. Stick with it, Mr. President. Listen to your commanders. You're doing a hell of a job. We're close to getting this thing right.
You aren't 100% agreed on this, and we're out of time, but would you become his defense secretary?
No, he has a lot of great choices. I'm going to be the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, and I'm going to help President Trump put conservative judges on the court in large numbers. I'm going to work with Democrats and President Trump to do infrastructure. And when it comes to the House Judiciary Committee, they're going to bring every charge known to mankind against President Trump. I'm going to defend him the best I can in the Senate. I think I can help him and the country better as chairman of the Judiciary Committee. He's got a lot of good choices for Secretary of Defense. Mr. President, your number one obligation above all others is to protect America. A strong military is a good thing. You can deter a lot of aggression by being strong, but when it comes to ISIS, you got to kill them, and you need partners to do that. All
right, we're going to put you in the no column for secretary,
yes,
but we'll see you as Mr. Chairman. Senator Graham, thanks for coming in. Good to have you with us tonight.
Thank you.